Welcome back. I am talking with Paul Mark. He is a Democratic state representative candidate for the 2nd Berkshire District. Hi, Paul. I don't know whether you call it Paul or Mark. I don't know which one.
Paul. But you can say check mark.
Check mark. Hey, I like that. Check mark. Anyway, he is running for the state representative seat that Dennis Guyer is stepping out of. And Dennis has got this project now in Dalton. He announced it last week. Good luck to him. I hope that works out. Yeah. But this is a wide open race. You've got 3 candidates, 3 Democratic candidates running. And next, let me try to get the day right. Next Tuesday, the 31st, right? We're going to have a forum over here.
Oh, yeah.
Where you, Zupanik and Sorin are all going to be here. We're going to be, and it's Dan Valenti.
Yep.
Everybody knows Dan Valenti. Poison Pen Dan. He's at the Gazette. He writes that stuff. Yep. Clarence Fanto, who has been in public, he's been in newspapers for 1,000 years, and myself. And we're going to be holding this forum next Tuesday, the 31st. The Democratic candidates for the 2nd Berkshire District. Then on Wednesday, we're going to do the Republican candidates, of which there are only 2. So I'm looking forward to that because it's going to be a conversation piece where you guys can answer questions, for instance, and discuss them. For instance, I'm going to ask you now about certain things, and then I'll give you a chance to bring some stuff up yourself. Okay. You'll have a chance. But we were talking about energy. We're talking about alternative energy. One of the big things right now is a lot of people are looking at solar energy as being the great saver of energy. You put them up on a mountain. You can't put them anywhere without people complaining about them. Or they don't want them in their backyard, that kind of thing. The NIMBYs. Yeah. Look in the town of Florida, Savoy, way up on the hill. They want to put them. It's like you would think that they're raising the dead. They got to put something up there. Then again, in Hancock, in your backyard, you've got the one at Jiminy Peak, which is, I think, awesome to look at, and it does a fine job. So what do you think of wind energy?
I think it's a great idea as long as it's in balance with the natural area and as long as the people of the town want it. In Hancock, I remember we voted, there was a zoning bylaw to try to prevent it, and we didn't pass that bylaw, and we allowed it to happen. And I think it's right in Hancock. Yeah.
Well, they're going through the same hassle in New Ashford now, right? Because they want to put them on top of the mountain, and I guess they got stopped.
Yeah, but
former Jiminy, not Jiminy,
Brody.
Brody Mountain. Yeah. It's amazing. As a state representative, though, you're going to have to deal with these issues, not only in the Berkshires but around the state.
Right.
Have to deal with the House. Jobs. I love this one. Jobs. Got to have jobs. Let's talk about jobs for a second. Whose job is it to bring jobs to the Berkshires?
I think it's everybody's job. It's state representatives. It's our representatives in Congress at the federal level. It's the governor. It's the president. Everybody. And the Chamber of Commerce, too. Absolutely.
Well, the Chamber is working at it.
Yeah, they've been doing great.
But you know something? You have chambers here. You have the Berkshire Chamber of Commerce, but then you have smaller chambers throughout the Berkshires, and I'm sure throughout the 2nd Berkshire District. Mm-hmm. So, good luck. I hope you can. You've got so many things on that plate.
Right. That's why everyone's stepping down.
No, I don't know about that because you've got some guys who've been in there for years. Look at Dan Posen.
But there's 30 reps, I believe, that aren't running again.
Really?
This is the most in a very long time.
That's amazing. Well, that's going to be kind of interesting to see if who takes over, Republicans or Democrats. And in the House. In the Berkshires, I don't really look at Democrat or Republican. I really don't. Yeah. Because, we've had Sean Kelly in there. He was a Republican. Mm-hmm. Didn't make any difference. He worked with our state senator at the time. Right. He worked with the House. The whole thing. So you guys worked together.
Yeah, it's nothing like down in Washington. It's much more fair and balanced here.
Oh, yeah. Now, speaking of state representatives, you've got, you're going to have a new one in. And you'll find out on September 14th who it is.
Right. Yeah, they're lucky.
But now, how are you going to work with the other states, the Berkshire delegation on Beacon Hill?
Oh, you just try to find issues that you agree on, and obviously all 4 of us will work together in the best interests of the district. And I think that's true actually of anyone that wins this race or the 1st Berkshire. Mm-hmm. Like you said, Republican or Democrat.
Doesn't make any difference.
Yeah, we still want what's best for out here.
Yeah. When you start getting up to state senator, that's when you, But then again, Ben Downing is our state senator, and he's been reelected, and he's
right. And Jane Swift used to be, and she was fine.
She was a Republican.
Yeah. Exactly.
So but everybody works together for the common goal of, in this case, the Berkshires, but in your case, you've also got to work with state reps from
from Franklin County,
Franklin
and they're
County.
going to have a new one too. Chris Donald's not running again, and that the second Franklin. That's also, I think they're in a 5-way primaries. Even I can't even imagine.
So September 14th, you're going to be sitting on your pins and needles too.
Oh, I'm going to be running to all 22 towns. I'm supposed to make a stop everywhere
Good thing.
and make calls on the way between the towns to get people to come out and vote. And
Well, before you
boy.
leave here today, I got to find out where you're going to be
Okay.
on September 14th, so I can go, how you doing? Congratulations. Or, oh, too bad. Go back there. By the way, come and fix my phone. You can do that. I'm going to leave it up to you. Now, you have, obviously, you have issues. You have something you want to talk about. So this is your chance, because I've asked enough silly questions. It's up to you now. Give me some examples of what you really want people to know Paul Mark for.
Well, the biggest thing I want people to know about me is hard work, and the reason why I'm running, which is because I want other people to have that same opportunity for success, and that I achieved what I achieved because of hard work and because I wasn't afraid to take a chance and stand up for what I thought was right. That's me in a nutshell. Mm-hmm. The things I want to fight for are the biggest things, of course, are jobs. The economy is horrible. People need work. If people have good jobs, then we don't need to worry about raising taxes, because the more people that make money, the more income taxes they pay, the more stuff they buy, the more sales tax they pay. That solves a lot of the problems with revenue, which then means, oh, now we don't have problems with education anymore because the funding doesn't have to be cut, etc. A specific issue that is really important in our district is the telecom issue. And as we've been talking, I've worked in telecom for 10 years now, and I don't think anybody's in a better position than me to make broadband throughout the district a reality. And I think it's realistic that within 4 years or so, we could have at least the start of broadband in this area.
Yeah. Of course, that's broadband. That would be DSL, right?
Or higher, yeah.
Or higher. I mean, how would that be higher? I mean, satellite or no?
The Wired West is this group that's
Oh,
trying.
yeah.
And they want to make fiber to the home.
Yeah.
If they did that, I mean, then you have unlimited potential.
Fiber. I know a friend of mine has fiber out in Taunton.
Yeah.
Oh man, he says you haven't seen anything. I mean, he
Right.
downloads movies and the whole thing. One thing that didn't quite make it in this session of the House was the casino bill.
Right.
It got stalled up. I mean, nobody could agree with each other. And here's Governor Patrick sitting there trying to get him to do so. Didn't happen this time around. So that means it's going to happen, hopefully come around next time around. And you've got Indian tribes and towns throughout the Berkshire, well, not the Berkshires, but throughout the Commonwealth, who are lining up like ducks. They want a piece of the action. What do you think of gambling casinos?
The bill that the Senate was proposing that would have been 3 resort casinos only, I thought was a good idea because it would have meant 15,000 jobs. And like I said, we don't see a lot of people proposing ideas for jobs. The slot tracks, that was too much. There really wasn't benefits from that. It would do more harm than good. And the fact that, like you said, so both houses passed this and the governor wanted it, but because of a minor little difference, they couldn't get it passed. It's just, that's what's wrong with politics.
I think it was the slots. I think it was the slot track.
Yeah, the governor wanted 1 slot track and the speaker wanted 2.
Speaker of the House. So
Yeah.
Seldom Massey, yeah.
And they couldn't compromise. And that's just, I don't
How
understand.
about 1.5?
Yeah.
You
So,
know,
to me, now that that's gone, it's like the boat has kind of sailed. I think it's time for people to think of something better, like maybe high-speed rail, more green energy, something like that to focus on sustainable jobs that don't have the harmful effects.
yeah. Well, high-speed rail has been brought up before. And I mean, Governor Patrick brought this up a couple weeks ago. He was in the Berkshires talking about high-speed rail. Well,
Yeah.
maybe you weren't here when they do it. Maybe 10, 15 years ago, there was talk about building high-speed rail from Boston to the Berkshires via the Mass Turnpike. In other words, you got that handy-dandy divider strip of the Mass Turnpike with
Right.
trees and brush and shrubs and animals. Build a rail like a monorail.
Yeah.
Well, that was a thought. And every time I'm on the Mass Turnpike, and it takes me 3 hours to drive to Boston, I think this would be really cool. Now, I guess the governor was here, and he said, well, you could improve traffic on Amtrak from Pittsfield to Boston. Trust me, you don't want to take Amtrak to Boston from Pittsfield. I mean, if the train is on time, you're very lucky. And then it takes 5 hours to get out there because it stops everywhere. You could drive there in less time.
Right.
But high-speed rail, what would you think?
That would be awesome. I mean, you have the jobs that it would take to create this for the next 5-10 years, and then the jobs to maintain it, and then the people that would work on the train and take your tickets and work at the bar car and all that stuff would be great. I mean, this is sustainable, and it would help reduce the emissions from cars because people wouldn't have to commute as much. And imagine the tourists it could bring to Boston, from Boston or from New York City up here to the Berkshires. If 8 million people in New York City could just get on a train and be here in an hour and a half and go to the Shaker Village, I mean, it'd be great.
Well, see, I wouldn't say 8 million people go to Shaker Village. They got news for you. Shaker Village they'd put up the full sign. But no, it's easy to get from New York City to, the Capital District by train.
Right.
From there to here, it's kind of a pain in the neck.
Yeah.
So I can see that needs to be improved because there's one track between here and Albany. I mean, once in a while they put two side by side so a train can pass, but that's about all. But high speed rail, it has possibly some future. I would like to see that happen.
Really
I think a lot of people. Hey, listen, when I'm on the Mass Turnpike driving to Boston, you're going to learn this.
Oh,
yes, because you're going to wear. You think you got troubles now putting on 25,000 miles on your car. Wait till you start commuting to Boston. Just ask Kelly or Geyer.
When I went to law school, I did it. I commuted. I went to Suffolk and Boston at night.
At night?
Yeah, from here after work. So yeah.
You are
and I would like the train.
You're a glutton for punishment, aren't
Yes.
you? Okay, there's a lot more things we're going to be talking about. We will talk about these and other issues next Tuesday, 11 o'clock in the morning here on 1420 WBEC as Paul Mark and Noreen Cerner and Tom Zapanik are going to be in the forum with Dan Valenti and Clarence Fanto and myself. 11 o'clock next Tuesday morning, the 31st of August. Any final words? You have the last word here, my friend.
Oh, well, thank you so much for having me on. And anyone that's listening, I'd really like your support. Check out my website, www.votepaulmark.com. That's PAULMARK. And thank you for listening.
That's it?
Yeah, I don't know. Isn't that good?
I'm looking at the clock. I said, okay, we're almost out of time. What are you off to now? What are you doing this week? Oh, you're going to be at the Cummington Fair.
I'm going to be at the Cummington Fair. I think I'm going to the Ashfield Town Picnic next. And then I'll probably do some door-to-door. And then, I'll probably stop by the Cummington Fair tonight. Even though I think we have a phone bank going too, so balance my time. And then tomorrow I go to work.
I did, years ago, my brother-in-law ran for an office. And I got to go door-to-door. All right? Now, this was a new experience. You've probably experienced this. But I was barked at by more dogs, hissed at by more cats, and here's these little kids with sticks, and they're on their bikes, and they go, "Who are you?" I said, all I'm doing is handing out literature, or at the time I think it was getting signatures.
Yeah.
Which was really. You've run into that. I'm sure the dog barks at you.
Yeah.
Turn the dog loose on here.
Or if I see a dog not on a leash in a yard, I skip the house because it's like then if it bites me, it's my fault. What were you doing?
What are you doing to my dog? All right, Paul. Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it. Paul Mark, Tom Zapanik, and Noreen Cerner are going to be here next Tuesday, the 31st of August, at 11 o'clock in the morning in this time slot. They're going to be on with a forum. Dan Valenti is going to be moderating and asking questions. And then there's going to be Clarence Fanto from the Berkshire Eagle. And yes, they even allowed me in there, which I thought was kind of nice because it's my show. So it was nice of them to do that. So that is next Tuesday morning, 11 o'clock here on 1420 WBEC. Once again, Paul, thank you very much.
Thank you, Larry.
Paul Mark, Democratic State Representative candidate in the 2nd Berkshire District. Take care, one and all. I will definitely talk to you on Monday.